right, House of Payne fans. Now, this is a video, and no, this isn't one of those theories about Kaleb being Lisa's real baby daddy or Kaleb and Lisa being siblings. This is kind of going on via the discussion in the comments of my episode review for the big game, where I talk about whether or not Lisa's a good character. One person really spoke to what I was thinking, like, I can't believe we lost Kaleb and we have Lisa on the show. And I mentioned in the video that the actor that portrays Kaleb kind of hinted that he's done in the series, how he was thankful to portray Kaleb in season 9, how it was a dream come true to work on the show. He loved playing more comedic roles. So it stands to reason that Kaleb is his farewell was episode 20, If You Love Me. And just based on the events of that show episode, where it pretty much showed Jasmine who Kaleb really was and how she's just one of many girls that he tried to hook up with. It, to be honest, based on the way things turned out, I don't think he's coming back. But it's a shame because there's so much potential of his story. So before I go any further in the video, please take a moment, hit the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell notification icon, and select all. That way you are notified whenever I post new content to the channel. And follow me on my social media platforms. Links are in the description below. Now, let me just say up front, as always, when it comes to doing these kind of character analysis videos, this is not an attack on the actor / actress that I'm referring to. No, this is about the character and the way they're written and presented in the series. Now, I know some people are giving me flack in the comments like, what are you being so hard on Lisa for? I mean, this was the episode premise, about how hard it is dealing with a pregnant woman and this and that. And I'm like, I kind of get where people are coming from, but at the same time, no. This is the fact that this is the first time we're seeing Lisa for the first probably over 10 episodes. A lot. We've only seen her in maybe 3 episodes. A Wise Man's Opinion, Delicious, and yeah, she was in By Your Side, episode 3. So she was in episodes, I believe, 1, 2, 3, and she was in another episode. I can't remember which one, but it was the one where she was coming downstairs twerking at the refrigerator. So she's only been in maybe 4 episodes, well, 5 if you count this week's, but basically 4 episodes prior to the big game. She's a stripper. She's already met Malik's parents. They don't like her. She's pregnant. And now they both live with CJ and Janine and Hayden and Jaden and possibly Jasmine, who may or may not be living on campus. I don't know. So to have a character who was introduced at the beginning of the season in a pretty prominent role be reduced to nothing more than a background character, and when she finally shows up, she's completely insufferable, that's not a good thing. I mean, the argument that people make about, well, the whole episode was dealing with pregnant women, is like, no. I mean, look, like I said before, my sister was quite the interesting person to deal with when she was pregnant. Thank God I wasn't living at home at the time, or yeah, I don't know, we probably would have killed each other. But I know, like, when you do episodes like that, the big game, I get the comedic aspect of it. It's like, oh, so-and-so's trying to watch the game, but the wife wants the remote, or vice versa. Like, the woman wants to watch a love story or a love show, but, it's like, honey, we got a big game going on. The guys are coming over. Oh, no, I'm watching my stories. And then, of course, the fact that you want to root for one side over the other because, or even better is storytelling, is not being able to truly pick a side because you see both sides of the equation. But in the Lisa situation, and I've already watch my episode review because I really go into I just go in. Completely disrespectful, not willing to compromise, and thinking that just, you know what? She reminds me of, what was it? Hagar from the story of Abraham and Sarah when they were having Isaac. Well, not before having Isaac, when Sarah wasn't able to have a child. That's when Abraham was given Hagar by Sarah because instead of relying on God's promise of eventually becoming pregnant, she decided to take things to her own hands, get, her Egyptian servant knocked up in order to carry on Abraham's lineage. And while she was bearing the child, Hagar pretty much ignored her responsibilities and whatnot and started being, I guess you could say, pompous and egotistical until Sarah gave her the boot to go into the desert. And that's when the angel said, come back. And then that's how Ishmael was born. That's pretty much how Lisa's acting right now. It's like, because I'm pregnant, I get to do what I want, even though you're living. And like I said before, I'm assuming that her and Malik are living in CJ and Janine's house rent free. Not to mention the fact that it wasn't even discussed with those two, CJ and Janine, about Malik moving back in with a pregnant girl. Because, and Lisa was the one who brought it up. Oh, this is great. We get to move in and everything. It's like, wait, what? All that just came out of nowhere. And I think something that's been made apparent based off of recent episodes, I think that the order of these episodes is completely out of whack. You can just tell by certain things in regards to character, dialogue, reactions, and certain plot points that this season is almost completely out of order. And I feel like that hurts more than helps. So I think when it comes to Lisa, she's overreacting. And basically, if she doesn't get her way, then she's going to leave. That's bad character writing, especially when you rarely see a character. I mean, it's one thing if we were able to see different sides of Lisa or have gotten to know her better, but we're almost at the season finale of season 9, and we've only seen her a couple of times. All we know is that she's a stripper, she's pregnant, Malik's girlfriend, parents don't like her, she doesn't believe in God, and she twerks very nicely. So going back to the theme of this video, it's like, it's hard to believe that we lost a character like Kaleb, who had a lot of potential. He was the preacher's son. He's a drug dealer. He tests Jasmine's self-worth in the idea of, will she stick to her morals and rely on no means no, or will she give in because she thinks this guy's cute? Not to mention the dynamic of, well, he does drugs and Jasmine's mother is once an addict. So there was so much story potential there, but allegedly Kaleb is just gone. So all that story left with him. But with Lisa, we just have this character who so far has just proven to be extremely unlikable. I mean, it just seems like a massive just mistake in regards to writing this character into the show. I'm not saying she can't be redeemed in terms of the writing, but with the show being as comedic as it is now, it just makes the most sense if it turns out that Malik is not the father. It really is a shame that we lost a character with so much potential like Kaleb, but we saw it squandered because we had 3 episodes of Curtis and Ella being high instead of having some good episodes to develop Lisa more as a character. Maybe have her clash with Janine, because it's one thing for CJ not to want to, I guess you could say, put his foot down when it comes to a pregnant woman, but how about the woman of the house being Janine be the one to tell her off? That would be great. I mean, sure, you might be, well, dang, it's like Malik, you can't even put your foot down dealing with this woman, but your mommy has to. There's a difference between a man interacting with his wife versus the mother of the man interacting with that girl. Like, if there's no one else who could teach her respect, it could be Janine, the woman of the house, and someone who's had 4 children. So it's just one of those situations where the next episode doesn't look like it's going to make me like Lisa anymore due to the fact that in the trailer, it's like, you need to learn how to compromise. It's like, you don't know what it's like to carry a baby around for 9 months, and everybody's like, neither do you. So it's just one of those situations where I'm not the biggest Malik fan based on how he's been acting so far this season. Just the fact that he's out-sassing Jasmine, I never thought that day would come. But to just see that he was actually being incredibly reasonable and Lisa was acting the way she was, I don't like her. So what do you think? If you could choose between the characters, I know it's a bit unfair to compare Lisa and Kaleb due to the fact that Lisa hasn't had as many lengthy appearances as Kaleb. But at the same time, I just feel like even if we get Lisa in every episode before the season ends, I doubt that I'm actually going to feel like I know the character any better than when she first appeared in the series compared to Kaleb, who was in multiple episodes, and we got a solid idea of who he is, what he's about, and honestly, the potential storytelling they could do. But unfortunately, while he got the boot, we got Lisa. And I see a lot of people who just say write her out. I feel like a lot of people are saying the same thing about Miranda and Lisa. Just kick them out, because there's characters have become, I mean, Miranda has just become incredibly stale and annoying. Whereas Lisa, a lot of people just feel like she was a mistake. And I agree. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Kaleb or Lisa, should they just both get the boot? Should they both be back in the series? How would you change it? Let me know. Thanks so much for tuning in. You could donate to the channel via PayPal or Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.